Well, good afternoon everyone. Welcome to another podcast. It's been a fair while. It's not the first attempt. I've had a couple that I had to abandon. But here we are. It's incredibly bright, so not ideal. Just wading down a little bit of slack water at the minute, and I'm just going to tuck into a current that's moving down the far bank. It's bright as they come and there's not really anything moving. So I'm just going to fish some of the faster stuff, and I've actually got a duo set up today. I've got a 9'5" weight, it's the Sage R8, so a nice powerful rod that'll turn over a duo. It's a Rio Gold weight forward 5, and then I've got probably about 9 feet of tapered leader, a Clink and Dink size 14, and then I've got about a foot and a half of fine fluorocarbon and a little size 18 olive copperhead nymph. So I'm just going to start casting and work out a bit of line upstream. And obviously the idea here is we're watching that clink hammer. If it ducks under the water and gets pulled under, then we strike, hopefully into a fish, or from time to time hopefully something will come up and nail that clink hammer on the surface, although I'm not over convinced that's going to happen this afternoon. I have actually been out guiding this morning and there was a lot more activity. Plenty of fish rising to dries first thing, but as ever the sun's now beating down on the water and the water's very low, and the fish have really dropped off. But over the last week or two they have moved into the quicker water, obviously with this weather, and the water's warmed up enough, so the fish are feeding in the fast stuff. So that does give me a shot here of actually picking up some stuff in the unseen fish in the fast water. That's what I'm aiming for. And then as I do work upstream, if I do see anything rising in particular, I can quite happily swap over to a dry fly and target those. But I'll just let the nymph run down for now. So casting upstream, I can see this clink hammer nice and visible because it's got a bright pink post. And if that ducks under, I'll strike into it. I've only got, I say, it's not a long dropper underneath the clink hammer because the water's so low. I don't want to be hitting the bottom constantly. I'm going to fish some of this slightly shallower, faster water. It's been a funny old start to the year. Often flooded off in April. Went under then. Often flooded off in April, and this year it's been low. It's a beautiful bit of river this. You've got all the leaves are out on the trees now. It's nice and wide in places and then narrows, and lots of different paces of current. Some overhanging willows on my left here. There's sheep and lambs grazing in the meadows next to me, and the water's just trickling down at a reasonable pace, and there's a bit of disturbance on the water as well as it comes over the rocks. So nice kind of water for fishing a clink hammer. And on the right hand side we've got some big banks of shale and gravel that's now exposed because of the low water. Normally there'll be water flowing over that, but it's all exposed at the minute. So we're just going to keep, oh, it's a fish just flicked up ahead of me. That's a nice sign. Just the tail's just flicked up. Keep on fishing this duo, I think, representing it, running it down the stream. I've had an okay start to my trout season, some good days. The weather's been funny. There was that nagging easterly wind for a good, what's it seemed like forever, 2 weeks, and that certainly chilled off the fish. And then it's been bright summer and hot and bright and low water and clear water. So it's been interesting. There's a few fish moving. I've just noticed one on my left here, just off the seam. So I'm going to try and cover that one. And then there's one risen in absolutely no water at all, in complete shallows. But just going to cover this one I've just seen under the surface to the left. Now that's not far off it. I think I'm just a bit to the right of it there. So let's make my cast a bit more to the left. Probably about right. And a lot of I've been watching the river quite a lot recently, and certainly a couple of weeks ago a lot of the rises were actually taking ascending nymph, so they were just a splash of the tail as the fish turned. They weren't actually taken off the top. So the duo has been very, very useful for fishing a nymph close to the surface recently. I don't know how your season started, but the theme throughout the country really for the salmon as well has been this lack of water. I can't remember really the last time it rained, and everything's, like I say, a very low summer level. Some olives hatching off in front of me now. Let's just move across to some of this shallower stuff. Oh, dipped under there. I don't know whether it was just caught on a rock. It just shallowed up a bit, but yeah, I think we're just going a bit shallow here. I just wade up to the next run. Oh, a bit of cloud. And there's lots of gnats flying around. The hawthorns are out. There's some olives. There's some yellow maize I've seen, and the fish are there or thereabouts. Okay. So here there's a big seam of faster water that's coming off a gradient. I'm going to put the clink right into that, and this is where this rod really pays dividends, because I've got a wind blowing on my face and obviously two flies on. But they're such powerful rods these that you find you can really turn that fly over even into the wind. Fish on, there we go. That's good. Whee, it's a jumper. And again. Oh, there we go. Lovely little brownie. It's only about half a pound, but he's jumped almost into my net, and then the hook's come out, so quick release. Perfect. Well, that's a nice start to the day. Nice to get a fish. Just where I hope they'd be, actually, just in that quick stuff on the nymph or just breaking surface. Let's get that fly back out there, see if we can get another one. Well, that's a nice start. Only been fishing 5 minutes or something, so there's another rise there to my left. So I was debating going on. That one took the clink hammer. Awesome. That sucked the clink hammer down. That's right in front of me. I just felt it. That's fantastic. Yeah, I was going to say I nearly went on another river, which would have been dry fly, and we've been out guiding this morning and had some action first thing, but as soon as the sun really started beating down, the dry seemed to go off, and I just fancy them just moving to nymphs a bit more now and a bit more on the surface. That nailed the clink hammer. Excellent. Right, let's get this fly back up. I think there's several fish into this. It's a lovely bit of water, this. I say it's only a foot deep, but it just comes off a wide gradient, and you can there's trees overhanging it, and it's just a ripe location for trout. And this time of year, when the fish are just happy to be in this quicker water and are feeding, you can get right on top of them, and there's normally a few that are willing to take even in the shallows. I'm just going to wade up a fraction. I found this a really good nymph for fishing a duo like this. It's ones that we sell, obviously. I don't plug my own flies, but it's an olive copperhead. We do them in olive, we do them in a black and a hares, and they're size 18, so small with a tiny bead on, and really they fish lovely under the clink hammer, and they seem to do really well at this time of year. Right, I'm really into the fast water now. Just drop that back in just there. So I'm having to manage the line as this comes down. clink hammer's just landed upside down. Right, there's a fish just risen really close to me on my left. So basically, with hardly any fly line out, I'm going to try and cover this. Are you going to take it? I think they are taking these olives still as they're bursting out. There's a couple of family of ducks coming down as well now. Lots of little chicks around at the minute. And they've been feeding the flies. I was watching the chicks earlier just kind of leaping out and as far as they can and taking flies out of the air. And this fish has not paid any interest in my clink hammer or my nymph just on the left here. Might have moved. It was very close. It was only a rod length away from me. It just flicked up. Let's try getting one a bit further across. I think this is the perfect weather for me anyway for fishing a duo. So there is a few flies. There's the odd fish rising. A lot of them are taking the ascending nymph and not actually taking off the top. But there we go, fish on. Oh, there we go on then. This is a better fish. On the nymph again. I wonder if that was the one that was rising. Hey! In the net, lovely. Yeah, as I was saying, for me this is the perfect duo weather. It's fish on. Straight away again. First cast after that one. Oh, come on you. That's a lovely fish. And the hook's come out as well. That's perfect. Drop you straight back. Wonderful. What's that? 3 fish. 2 without moving. I think there's a number working in here. So I'll try again. Perfect for duo. It's kind of intermittent rises. A lot of it is just under the surface. So you've just got that. You're picking up both basically. You're going to get the odd rise to the clink hammer, which is really exciting off the top, and then the moving to the nymph, which is the important thing. So you're not having to fish deep, but they are taking them nymphs as they ascend. So it's just a perfect setup and the perfect afternoon for it. And I'm in the shade now, and it's absolutely glorious. Looking up the river, there's clouds of gnats and the odd olive, the odd splash of a fish. The ducks are doing the business, and it just feels a perfect, well, spring afternoon, but it feels like a summer's afternoon. It's a lovely time to be out on the river. Let's see if we can get one more out of this run, and then we'll move up to the next one. Bit of a wind coming now. I think I've exhausted that run, so I've got one more run ahead of me, and then I'm going to walk up some of the slacker water, still keep the dew on I think, and just fish under the trees, see if I can get something on the nymph just under the trees. There's a real nagging downstream wind coming now, but it's thankfully quite a mild one, so it shouldn't affect the fishing too much. Pretty shallow stuff now. It's just above my ankles, but it's moving at a pace, so the nymph is still not making contact with the bottom. I think there's definitely a chance of a fish. There's a big fallen tree, and there's a seam of water just coming off the tree, and that's probably where they're going to be. Yeah, fish on. Another jumper. Get the net in him. Okay, let's keep going up. I think there's another fish in here somewhere for me. I've just seen one rise. It's in between two branches. I think I can just, oh, it's right on it. I've hooked to the log and I've lost count the amount of times I've done that here. I'll wade up and get this off. Well, I know I feel the cold more than a lot of people, but I've just dug my hand in to get this nymph off that tree, and boy, that water felt cold still. I was quite surprised actually how cold it felt. Right, I'm working the fly down the final shallows just next to this fallen log. There's normally a fish in here, especially mayfly time, they're always rising here. Let's see if I can winkle one more out, and then we're going to go up to the slacker water ahead of me. Basically, I'm running it right down the side of a fallen tree. That's where they'll often sit. Not the easiest cast, but if you can just get it right, you can get rewarded here. Yep, there we go. Right at the top of the run. Oi! God, they're jumping today, these fish. There we are. That's a nice fat one. Nothing big, it's just a bit fatter than usual. Right, just having a quick look at this nymph. It's looking like it's been bitten a bit. It's a bit of the dubbing's coming off now, but sometimes the scruffier they are, the better they fish. We'll keep going with it. I'm just going to wade upstream, and the river widens now and it gets very still and slow. But on the left-hand bank there's lots and lots of overhanging trees, and there's normally fish sipping just under the trees. So I'll just see if there's anything there and try running it down. And then if not, and if the slack water feels a bit dead, I'll continue upstream, and there's some fast water further upstream to cover. I'm just seeing a dimple of a fish mid-river. Just scanning the water. Problem is here with the wading, you're creating a bit of a bow wave going upstream, so you've got to take a bit more care. Well, I can't see much under the trees sipping. I'll just cover where that fish was in front of me. Ah, there's a little flick of a fish just further up on the left hand side under the trees. I'll prospect my way up. I'll put some casts under the trees to the likely spots, and see if I can pick one up, and then I'll try and cover some of the rising fish further up if that's where they are. some Canada geese ahead of me that is a bit of a standoff. I don't think they want to move, and I've got to go past them, so oh, they're moving now. Oh, I'm going to speed up, so it's there's nothing happening in this slow water, so I'm just going to make my way upstream now. Right, so I've mooched upstream and just found some, well, I say found some, I know this pool like the back of my hand, but I've got a lot of fast water coming at the top, and then there's a bubble stream over the far bank. The only addition, we've got a big new fallen tree in here this year, which has actually created a lovely little extra kind of run at the end of the pool. It's compressed the current a bit and just sped things up where it was slow and created a new bubble stream, so that's going to be great through the season. I've had a few out of there already. I'm just starting a bit above there, just getting a little closer to the fast water. I am just going to fish up the slacker stuff. Now here the fish are always nearly always right across the far bank. There's one bubble stream that comes down and they're often in there sipping away. Now I'm just going to cover that and then head up into the riffle, fish that fast water. There's a lot more flies suddenly, a lot more. Some huge clouds of gnats. There's some yellow maize coming off, there's some olives. Let's see if this brings the odd fish up. I can see just a fairly big hatch starting, so we'll see if this brings any fish up. Yeah, there's definitely a load of flies coming off now. Nice to see. There we go, there's the first big rise. I knew there would be. Like I say, there's quite a volume of flies hatching off. So I'm going to get into where I've just seen that again. It's in the fast stuff. That's just come up again, that fish. It'd be lovely to get that on the clink hammer. Right, I should be able to cover it this cast. Not far off it. Oh! Nah, oh, he's come up again. Probably better putting a dry on actually, but I'll see if I can get him on the duo first. Come on, take the clink. I've only had one offer on the clink hammer so far. That should come over him about there. Not interested. I'll just put some across to the far side, and then I'll keep an eye on my peripheral vision to see if anything comes up again. And if it does, if we start to get a lot of rising, I'll put a dry on for sure. It's come up again. Come on, take the clink hammer, you know you want to. Again, I do suspect that fish is following up nymphs and smashing them. Smashing them as they hatch, as opposed to, I've been watching him and he's not taking like floating duns off the surface. He's almost rising at nothing, which makes you think he is just following nymphs up and hitting them as they emerge. In fact, I just saw him again then. So I think I've got a shot on this. If not, I might have to slim it down. I don't mind trying to catch this fish because he's working pretty hard. But I think it might be a change of setup. My nymph's probably not quite moving right. Put some across the far bank again. Yep, fish on straight away. Under the bush on the far bank. In the net, another brownie. I've had one bigger one today, but they've all been pretty much a half pound and the smaller stuff really, but great fun. I'm going to nip this off, and for the last 5 minutes I'm going to fish a spider. Just tap the spider upstream. Just tap it up and I'll be able to see if a fish takes. I'll just see the leader shoot away. No indicators, nothing. I'll just watch the leader and just keep tapping it on top of this fish. Sometimes they will, if they're taking ascending nymphs, they will nobble a spider. It's a while since I've fished a spider upstream like this. Yay, got him. Hey. He's a bit bigger than I thought actually. It's on the spider. Come on you. Yay. Well, that was great. Just tapping that spider up into that quick water and he's nobbled it on the partridge and orange. Superb. Well, that's been a wonderful afternoon's fishing. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Plenty of action, plenty of fish, plenty of takes, half takes. It's been an interesting day watching the fish and how they're behaving, and it's been a thoroughly pleasant day in terms of weather as well. Thank you so much for listening. As ever, if you want any help or advice, or you want to book a lesson, you can visit us at www.peaksflyfishing.com, and for the shop it is shop.peaksflyfishing.com. and if you're in the area, please do pop into the retail shop in Sheffield, come say hello, and thanks for listening. See you soon. Until next time, bye bye.